Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to our second session of online course organized by CRTA and Transitions. Your trainer, Liam, is ready. Like last time, he's in another part of London, just back from France, where he watched the match and participated in celebrations. Obviously, so he's full of enthusiasm, full of positive energy. So all I can say, I hand over to him.
Well, thank you very much, Chiro. Hi, everyone. Yeah, indeed, I'm very good. I'm normally always in a good mood, but especially today, and especially I was on Sunday because it was great to have France being the champions of the world for football, and for the next 4 years we are. And if you've seen all the game, I hope you enjoy it. I definitely had a good time with a lot of French champagne after that day. But no, Croatia played very well, and I think it was an amazing game to watch. And Croatia is an amazing team. But now on the session, I'm not going to debrief the game for the next 45 hours. We're actually going to do some open source training today. So last time we were talking about advanced internet searches online, and there was at the beginning a small introduction into open source, as we had in Belgrade. And at the end, I give you a little exercise to practice Google Internet search, advanced internet search. I saw a lot of you. Well, actually, I've got 3 replies, and you had all of them. I think had the correct answer, and it was pretty easy. I'm sure maybe some of you didn't send me an email, but did the job, and it was pretty simple. But it was just to get practice with the Google advanced internet search. But as I said before, it was really easy. So I'll just quickly demonstrate how you get to the answer. It should take about 3 minutes, and then we move into advanced social media search. So we'll be looking at Facebook, as we did in Belgrade. There will be the Facebook magic formulas. We'll go over them again. There will be the websites which already have formulas set in them. So we'll go over Intel techniques, store scan, and maybe other examples on how to use it. So we'll be focusing first on Facebook, and then on Twitter, and then I might be looking at other social media platforms and maybe other tools we can use depending on the time we have left. And this session should be taking roughly, I expect, 40 minutes talking about the training, and then there will be 10 to 20 minutes time room for questions. And then, like for the other session, we'll wrap it up. And tonight or tomorrow morning, first thing, I will send you an email with an exercise, which will be a bit harder than the other one. And it will be focusing, I think it will be on Facebook. But I'll send that, and then you have until the next session to give me the answer, and then the next session I'll present. And the next session we'll be going over geolocation, verification using geolocation, verification of videos and photos. But let's get started. I'll share my screen so you can see the question I had put, which you all have by email. But that was the question. The idea was to use Google search operators or advanced search to find the maximum monthly stipend rates, failures and scores. Failures and scores for the UN in Serbia on Title II as of July 2018. And I gave you some way to start think about finding what you had to think in order to find that document, what type of file you're looking for. Maybe you had to search in a specific domain or site, use the Google search tool, etc. Maybe a cursor figure. So obviously there were multiple ways to go to access to the answer, but an easy one was just to use all the terms you've been provided. Maybe that document could have been Excel sheet or a PDF, so we could try different option. But so you would have put, for example, we're talking about the UN. There is a term Serbia is going to be there. Maybe I could have put currency, etc. But I know, for example, let's say I'm trying it's a PDF. I could have put also rates or other information you would have deemed that could have helped. But for example, here, if I put UN and Serbia and PDF, I find a lot of documents. But obviously, I discussed the time tool, which I think for this one was the most important one, because if you put past months, UN and Serbia, well, you still find a lot of information. So you could maybe reduce it with rates, for example, or stipend or fellows. And here you got 2 documents, which are the one I was interested in. And if you open it, you see it was July 2018. It's talking about maximum monthly stipend rates for fellow and scholars. So I'm on the correct document, and obviously I just had to do control search, Serbia, and here's where the figures that I was looking for. The 3-figure $180, $2,430, $3,065. So it was pretty easy to get to the answer, but you could have also play around a bit more if you wanted. Some of you might have put domain or site, sorry, that's better, un.org, and Serbia, and file type PDF. Actually, I just need to, I don't need the end when I put the file type and site. I can just use this. And again, so here it doesn't come up. I would need to, again, specify, I think for that one, you need to specify the rates. That's the one who's going to come up. Or maybe if we try stipend, I would have bring it even less results, maybe fellows as well. So just to try, you know, to get you thinking about different options you can use. You see, if you put fellows, there aren't any, then, well, apart from those 2, you don't have many documents using the term fellows and Serbia together as a PDF document on the website of the UN. So that only give you, that's actually the best research, because the best search pattern, one of the best, there might be a few others, but one of the best, because it really brings you those 2 documents with, if you put past months. But you could have, because I told you it was in July, you could have also customized the range just to be in July, etc. So those were the different ways to get to those documents. But that's to remind you, when you know what you're looking for on Google, try to use, so if you know if it's PDF, put it, if you know the website you're searching it, put it site. If you know there will be specific, that's also really important, start thinking, you know, I'm looking into this document about corruption. I know I need this document, a PDF document about corruption. So there will be the term corruption. There might be, if it's to do with politics, there might be the term politics. I don't know. There might be a number, etc. There might be a name of a politician. So you really need to put all those elements together to refine your search and make sure the idea is, if you know what you're looking for, you put all the terms. That could be about a specific document, but it could also be about, you know you're looking about themes, you want to refine something, you know, you're looking into sports, let's say, and football. Let's go back on the World Cup, just to remind ourselves that France won the World Cup this year. But for example, you know, about FIFA, let's say, you're looking for some maybe corruption cases on FIFA, because there are some, as you all know, there are some elements of corruption in the FIFA organization. But so if you're looking at broad things like that, you might use corruption, you might use bribes, you might use pot de vin, like you might use different pot de vin in French, for example. You might use actually different terms as well. Think about the language you're looking into and try different language, because corruption cases might be in different countries. So this is just to remind you that when you do a search, even if it's about a broad theme and you start an investigation, really the idea is when you do your internet search, put a list of terms you think will be related to that search, and try those different terms, put them together in Google, play around with them, putting and or using the file type, the site, and other Google search operators, which will help you refine your search. So that's it for the case. Now I'm going to move into social media advanced search, and we'll be starting with Facebook. Actually, I'll switch the. I remember in Belgrade, I first presented the formulas, and then I went into Intel Techniques and Store Scan. But let's start with Intel Techniques and Store Scan this time, because those are the easy tools to use, which we all tend to use. And then if you want to be more advanced, then you can rely on the formulas, because you can build those formulas yourself. So if we go to Intel Techniques, so you go to the website Intel Techniques by Michael Basil, who used to work for the FBI, if I recall correctly. Once you get to the page, you go for tools. And here, that reminds me that what's good about Intel Techniques is there are tools not only about Facebook, but other social media platforms, and also the tools which I won't go through, but I will go through other social media tools available, research tools, available on that platform, but I won't go on the other, like reverse image search, reverse video, etc. You've got telephone, email, but I do recommend you play around with those because there are some great tools in that platform. But here we're interested in Facebook. So if I go to Facebook, so I remind you to go to tools, and on the side you've got all those options, Facebook, and I land on this page, which is custom Facebook tools. And here is basically when you do formulas, magic formulas, you build them yourselves. But here on this page, you've got formulas that are already in place. So for example, if you're looking into a specific, so this category here is looking into a specific account, for example, all the places visited by the account, the photos where the account have been tagged, etc., etc. So you've got different ones. Then you have what's also interesting is multiple target profiles. So you can find common details between two profiles. So let's say you're looking at two politicians, and you want to find out that they were in the same event, they were drinking, or maybe a businessman and a politician. There was a great case actually. Someone showed me at the Belgrade. I forgot what was the case, but it was about finding the daughter who was working for the mother or something like that. I forgot, and sort of piece it together. But there was something whereby the two people needed to be found on the same picture, and multiple target profiles that might help. For example, when you want to find common photo tags or common photo comments, maybe if they commented on the same picture, and then you can. So that's for multiple targets. Then you've got friends information. Also, it's very good. So if you're looking into your profiles and you want more information about the friends, because you know maybe your target of investigation or your targets of investigation are in the friends of that person you're interested in, then you've got that here. Additional information that might be, for example, that's quite good if you want, if you find again on the profile and you see it's been deleted, well, you can put it here in the Wayback Archive and see maybe if there's been an archive of that profile, which might have some information. That locate target profile here is to help you if you don't, if sometimes you don't have a Facebook page or Facebook account of the targets of your investigation, but you just have a name, or you just have a place of work, or you just have the university they went to, or the place of work, so the employee or the past employee, or the date of birth, whatever sort of random information you might gather during an investigation. And so that's where the locate target profile is very useful, because they will enable you to plug in that information, maybe multiple variables as you have here. You can add, so just by clicking add and putting, let's say I want someone who is working for the BBC, and their name is, let's say I'm searching for myself. I'll put just the first name. Oh, didn't work for this one. So that might be the case actually. So that's interesting actually that it's not working here, because it brings me to something I need to warn you is before the Cambridge Analytica big scandal and other information, there were a lot of these tools were working fine. But since that, Facebook has updated a lot of their functions and functionalities, and therefore, as this is the case here, when you get sorry you couldn't understand this search, it might be because it actually, I think it is because Facebook has shut down an option to do that search, and so that's what's coming here. So there might be some time you might see some of those tools might not be working anymore. But I know Michael Basil, if you follow him on Twitter, he does give updates about tools. So he did say when those tools were not functioning anymore, and as soon as he brings them back or manage to find a way around them, he'll update it on his Twitter account. So I do recommend you follow him on Twitter at Intel Techniques. But yeah, if I were to search for people name, so that's pretty handy. there's only one, and that's me. But you can, you can target. As I was targeting my boss, for example, Mark Perkins. Sometimes, well, that's here he comes in first, but sometimes you might have a lot of people, so you might decide here, for example, obviously it's quite common, first name and last name, so you might want to, here, let's try here, and it says he's worked for BBC Arabic. It could work, it could not work, it really depends. So I think this tool is completely done. Let's try just this. Just like this. Oh no, I know what's happening. So I was making an error by the fact that for the employee, I don't put the name, I need an ID of a page. And so, for example, here, I'm cheating a bit, but the ID of the page would be BBC Arabic, is here. And how I get the ID, again, do you remember a tool that is very handy is graph tips here? Because that's gonna give me, so graph tips here, /beta, because if you put a username or a page, so here BBC Arabic, it gives me a number, and this is when it's asking for ID. It wasn't, sorry, I was putting the name, but it's asking for an ID here. So that here should work, but I couldn't find him. But maybe let's remove working. It's just have Mark. So we find someone else, but and it's also not Mark. But yeah, so that sometimes it might not work. Depends what people have put in. The tool is not perfect, but it's often good. But yeah, when it's asking for an ID, don't put, as I did, I made a mistake. Don't put the name, but put the ID itself, and that will work. And then you have search when you want to look into maybe posts, picture, and those search are for keywords. So, for example, FIFA. Sorry, not World Cup maybe. All the posts about FIFA. So obviously you have a lot of the French team in there. So those are all the people who mention FIFA in their post. You can also do that if you're just interested in video. We'll put FIFA here, and that's going to come all the video mentioning FIFA. But basically, it's using a term or sometime an ID if you want pictures from a certain page, etc., etc. So where it comes in handy, it comes really good. The one I use the most often is, because, well, for geolocation, etc., we need a visual on the people to verify. So we need images, we need videos, and the one that's really good, and I'll demonstrate that with my boss, is if I go to his profile, his picture, he doesn't have, it shows only 2 pictures. But now, so again, I need here for this tool, it's asking me for a Facebook user number. Therefore, I need that number which Graph Tips is going to give me. So again, I pick up the username from the profile of the person of interest. I put it in there, and it's going to give me the unique ID number, which I can place here. I'm interested of finding images where have been tagged, but that are not on this profile. So it might be on somewhere else profile. And if I do that here, I find much more picture. So still, he's got a limited amount of images, but I found much more images, and sometimes where it's been tagged. And sometimes you don't know the number of information you might find, on someone's profile is very limited. But as soon as you search for a picture where they've been tagged or a video where they've been tagged, you suddenly unlock a lot of images that you wouldn't see otherwise and are still public. I think that's what the strength of those is, just showing you public information. Nothing is private. You're not hacking any accounts. You're not violating any Facebook rules. You're just accessing information that's public, and that's what this tool is about, making that access easier. Instead of you having to guess on which profile those images or this person, on which profile image this person is tagged, here you can just get it much faster. And you've got a lot of tennis for you to explore. I don't want to do I don't have time to run through all of them, but if you have any question on any of those tools, always feel free to email me. But you can try different options, if you want places, videos, events, the posts where they've been tagged also, that can be quite useful, the co-workers, etc. You got a lot of option on Intel Techniques, which is really good. I keep the page open because I'm going to go back there for Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and also YouTube later in that presentation, in that session. Now, another one that's even easier to use is StoreScan, because for this one, you don't even need to bother trying to dig out the unique identification number. You can just copy the URL. So again, back to my boss page, you can copy the URL. It's going to load the profile, and then you can just have to press picture where it's been tagged. Here I found the same information, videos where it's been tagged. There's only one, but yeah, all you have to do is, it's organized here. You just have to press more if you want more information from the profile, where they've been tagged, where they commented. So picture where they might have commented, picture they've liked, videos they've liked, posts they've liked, the places they've been to. So this one is just super easy to use, but Intel Techniques got more options. So I would recommend to go to Intel Techniques, because it's just one extra step is to plug out the unique identification number. But what's good is you've got graph tips to do so. But actually, you also have StoreScan, because as you can see, when I've entered the link here, it's giving me the profile number of the person of interest. Now I'm trying to look, because there might be another tool different one on Facebook. So that's all my list of tools on Facebook. Yeah, then you've got, no, so that's StoreScan, sorry. But you've got other tools which do exactly the same thing on, whoops, I forgot it, Facebook. That can be a good one, actually, the Facebook Live Map. That could be quite useful if you're searching for, let's say I want to know what's happening. Now let's go around here. So the map should load. But it's quite handy, because it give you one sort of live. So if you're following actually an event, that's more on the you might be using it. But obviously, if you're following a live event, then that tool might become useful, because there might be people posting, and you want to find the video coming out at the moment. So if you go to Live Map on Facebook, then you'll find those videos, and you can click on it and sort of analyze them. But that might be useful to look at that page from time to time. So that's for Facebook. Then what else on Facebook I should mention? So graph tips, I'll go back on it. Yeah, you've got this one, is again, you've got the Facebook search tool. It's called netbootcamp.org, but it does the same thing as Intel Techniques and StoreScan. So I'm not going to go through it again, but it's just more tools doing the same, offering the same sort of options and the same search. Same with people find TOL. Who posted what is quite useful. It's also by Hank, and it's just basically just to do searches within posts, and you can refine by date. You can put a time range. You can you can even search specific posts from a certain Facebook account with a specific keyword. So obviously they're still in beta, because they released actually quite recently, I think it's a couple of weeks ago. But whopostedwhat.com is also a good tool built by Hank. I mean, the idea was by Hank and then built by Daniel Andres. But it's also a very good tool, so I do recommend it. And that's to look into posts that people have done, or if you do general searches on posts. Linked to that, I'm just going to go back to graph tips, because just to say that on graph tips, you also got some tools, which maybe, I don't know if I mentioned that in Belgrade, but you got some quick tools here, where once you've entered the person, if you just one number, you can again find posts, photos where they liked, photos where they've been tagged. So you could actually just do it from here directly, instead of having to use Intel techniques. Just there are more options on Intel technique. You can same do such things that two people have in common. So let's say if I was looking at BBC Arabic and Mark Perkins, I can find, it's not going to be the case. There won't be anything common, but places visited, pages liked, photos likes, etc. The postings on the wall, and places they've been to. So that's other options. Sort of not so much tool about searches, but more that's often quite handy. Sometimes, you know, you want to download a video from Facebook, where you've got this tool, facebookdown.net, which you just copy and paste the URL, and now that'll enable you to download the video from Facebook. It's quite an easy tool, but sometimes there's no, as far as I remember, there is no, each time I always use this tool, there is no easy sort of way to download the videos on Facebook. So this one is a good one, and then you can add a Chrome extension. So you just have to press that Chrome extension when you find the video you're interested in and you want to download. Am I missing? Just going through, want to make sure I've covered them all. Facebook media shortcuts. Yeah, that's no tool, but that's actually quite a good source about open source investigation. The Research Clinic, done by Paul Myers, who used to work at the BBC and now is sort of a contractor and does some training for the BBC, but for other organizations. And it's got some detail about how to do search on Facebook, but it's pretty standard searches. But here it gives you a list of the operators you can put in. Here is why it's handy, is give you, you know, when I was sending you the document, which I'll show again by Ank, when we talk about magic formulas, they're just different formulas is built, so different operators here. But here it's giving you a list of the operators you can put in your URL directly. So some of them I think might not work anymore. And I have another document which I think I did share with you when I sent that email, which got maybe more up-to-date ones, but here is also a good option. So it's the researchclinic.net, and then if you go to home, you should find here social media, and you should find Facebook, and then here you get to that. So it's another good resource about Facebook that I would recommend you to consult, although it might be a bit older than new resources available, but it's still quite good. So now we're moving into formulas, which you can build yourself. So obviously what I was showing is all the tools that have formulas integrated in them already, but you can independently, as we worked on in Belgrade, build your own formula. And for this, there are two documents which I've shared with you. I'm just pulling out that document from my emails. Your presentation. So those were the two documents which I share with you. This one is the huge, long document built by Hank, where it gives a lot of, I like this one because it's sort of, he tried different options and he laid down those different options. If he's tried those different formulas is built, and so you can pull from this document whatever you think is useful or what applies to you and try different things. So here is here's a document that's got that all in there. And the other one was this one, which I share with you, which might be a bit more useful because what it does is it gives you directly a string, what they call search operators or search string, depending on who who spilled the tool, but it's putting here those strings that you can use. So people who indicated they live in a certain place on Facebook, you got the place ID residence present, and then yeah, basically citing what you want, so the outcome you're going to get if you put that string, and you've got different string, and they are updating this document. So here it's already there with a lot of information. And basically here they say what, so I'll build a formula with you now, just to again showcase how it works. But as they say here, you always start your search on Facebook with www.facebook.com/search, if I remember correctly, and then slash, and then you would put your search of interest. So let's say we want people which want to try to find French supporters who went to watch the game, for example, in against, or went to the World Cup. So maybe what we can do is search for residents of France. So I'll put they put the ID first, but so we'll put let's see. So we'll go on Facebook, and then we want the country France. Let's be more specific. I think it's better if we put Paris. So here we have the page for the city of Paris, but it's not. I need a location actually, because I think that's not going to work. I need not a page, but a place. So yeah, it's places. That should be the correct one, because we look for one where it's got a big number of people. That looks a bit quite small for me. Let's try with this one anyway. Or maybe we'll try with the place actually. With the page, sorry. Let's give it a go with the page. See what it comes up, but I think it should be only a place normally. Or I've checked it. No, the page should work here. Sorry. So if we take this again, I need to go to graph tips in order to get the unique identification number, which I'm going to put here. So I want people who are residents actually, and then I want the final, if I recall correctly, that was for sure in Moscow, I think, but I don't want to make a mistake. But I think it was in Moscow. Yeah. So now I will want people who visited Moscow. So I am gonna go. I've opened too many pages. Let me close all of that. To Moscow, and then that one has already given me the ID, and so I am gonna put what I'm interested in. Where is my formula? I removed it by mistake. Anyway, it should be. Let's try again. www. So it's always bad to do live presentation. Always prepare before. Search dash. I was on Paris, which has. So I'll grab it from here. I wanted residents, present, and then I want people who went to Moscow, which I had here. Directly the number was given to me. Visitors present. And obviously I forgot the big part, which was intersect, because I got too many. Maybe I need to remove, should be just visitor, or it might be to do with and live in the other Paris. So it might be to do with, I think it's to do with the number. So that's obviously that's interesting because they show you that sometimes it's not that easy because the page might not work. You need a place. And so let's use this one, for example. Send it somewhere where people have checked. People visited Moscow and live in Paris. I want present. Not going to work because people visited in the past. That interestingly show only two options because it might be, so I think unknowingly, no, sorry, it's finally loading. It took a bit of time. So it's showing more options of people who obviously live in Paris and visited Moscow, but it might have been people in the past, you know, visiting, might not have to do anything with the workup. So I can, again, maybe refine a bit more. If I want, I can either do with, what I could do is, for example, people who, I'm sure there might be, like, for example, here we go, there might be workup final, there might be an event about this. Or there is the event about the workup. I don't know how many attended though. I guess, yeah, there might be just one interested here. So I guess that's not going to help. Here. Maybe let's go a bit more. Let's see by FIFA workup. So maybe if I put them here and I try, for example, so here I've got finding events. So that's actually to find events, but there should be, you see, I don't know them all by heart, but there should be, oops, my other page. There should be a one which is about finding people attending an event. And for this one, well, for this one, let's just keep it simple because obviously with those I always get lost and try to find something which function. But let's say we will go with someone who, so there's someone who checked. How many pages there? We can do. People have indicated that they like a certain topic, so we can do likers. Maybe let's try this. Not sure it'll work, but we could try to find people who like. Let's try this. I'm not sure it'll work. I'm trying something I've not necessarily done before. Try to see people who like this page. Doesn't understand that term. Link to that. Although here, okay, it's topic ID, it's not a page ID. Well, there might be different ones, so I might be looking for a post, but here are all the options. I myself, though, as you can see, I don't know them all by heart. So what I do is I pull one and sort of I sort of try it. It might not work because what's important for that to function is you need the people to have checked in Moscow, for example, to have say they work for this company, or to have say or to have liked this page, etc., etc. And if you get to this, might be that often is that you got a term wrong. Like for example, I guess likers might not work with this, or for example, For Paris, you know, at first I was using a page, but I need to use a place. So this is different ways to, so you need to try different things, and some might not work, but by using those sheets that I've, so that's why I don't know them by heart myself, because I always go back to that document and I try different things that have worked for Hank once or for those guys once might not be working anymore. So you need to try different ways, etc., etc. But I'm seeing the time is running out, and this was a big fail to find people talking about, oh, I haven't been to the FIFA in Russia. So I'll jump into other tools, which is to do with Twitter. So let me close all of those. And need to go back to Intel Techniques. To show you the tool on Intel Techniques about Twitter. Some of the tools are taken from Tweetbeaver, which is a good one. But here, for example, you just need to put the Twitter names, and you can find outgoing tweets, incoming tweets, media posts, so that will be video, pictures, first tweet, etc. So Tweetbeaver is a tool also that provides more information. Their followers, you got a lot of different ways to find information, maybe friends in common, etc. If you want to do messages by tweet by location, you can put the coordinates, but that's also when you do on Twitter. If you remember, I was talking about these options whereby you put geocode. So that's if you want to find tweets which are coming from a certain area. So let's say geocode. If I was interested in what's coming out of Podcasting House today, which is where I work, the office, I would go there on Google Maps. Drop a pin, which will give me here the coordinates. Then so I put geocode, put the coordinates, remove the space in between, and then put the range. And I want a show range here of maybe 5 kilometers, no more. And then do your search. And those are the tweets coming out from people who were at the BBC or in 5 kilometers of that, or at that sort of specific geographic coordinates, or 5 kilometers around that coordinates. But for that, you need to have obviously people to have presets that they have the location given when they tweet. Obviously, BBC Newsword, as you would suspect. So it might be people working from the BBC, or maybe Kane was actually around on July 16th. Maybe he's done an interview here where he was working around the building. But yeah, so that gives you that's a tool when you know you want to tweet from a certain location, sorry, you can use geocode. But you've also got Twitter Advanced Search, which here directly you've got the near place, which is also good, but it's not as specific as giving directly your coordinates, obviously. So you can put London in there, you can put the city, I think you can go maybe a neighborhood in the city, but you wouldn't be able to put a specific coordinates, and that's why it's better. Then it functions like Google Advanced Search. You can do a search by all the words, specific phrase, any of these words, hashtags, the languages you want, directly search in an account or tweets that have been made to this account or mentioning the accounts, and then the date range in case you know exactly what you're looking at. Here, okay, you've got, I went through that already. Other tools that you might want to have about Twitter, a good one is Twitterful. That's actually very good. Let me authorize the app for you. If, for example, an event happened and suddenly you want to follow every tweet that comes up, that's where Twitterful comes up. It's very handy because you can add your search. Let's see what's maybe let's see what's trendy at the moment. So I can show you. So let's say, oh yeah, today is the word emoji day. Maybe we can use the hashtag. It's very, very big day. So if I add this search, what's very useful about Twitter 4 is now is going to register every tweet which going to tag word emoji day are going to drop in front of my eyes. So it's quite handy if you need to monitor a situation or sort of yeah, exactly, live, or maybe an event is happening and you want to get exactly monitor it live and get all the tweets coming from it. You put your search in Twitter 4 and you just put that computer on the side. Maybe if you got your computer, it's useful. Put that computer on the side, see the tweets coming, and that way when something important, you can just directly see it falling in front of your eyes. But you can do also search by location. You can exclude some stuff as well here, you can see. And then you have your settings, define maybe if you're interested in a certain language, in retweets only, the speed of the flow, etc., etc. But that's very Twitter 4 is very good for that. That's one about Twitter. What else do I have in my folder about Twitter? TweetDeck, obviously a lot of journalists use it, but it's also very useful because you obviously can create different tabs. Here, if you can have your Twitter list on here, but you can also have the your messaging, etc., or you can search by hashtags and track those hashtags. So TweetDeck is free and quite useful to monitoring different things and seeing all your Twitter activities and interests directly on the same page. So TweetDesk, Twitter list copy is actually if you wanna steal a Twitter list that other people have built. So it could be quite useful here. Then you got TweetBeaver, but some of those TweetBeaver tools are included here in Intel Techniques. But yes, you convert a name to an ID. Check if two accounts follow each other. You can download users' favorites. You can download the timeline up to a certain number. You can search within the timeline, get data, etc. You got different tools you can use here on TweetBeaver. What else do I have in here? Twitter. I think those cover most of the one used. But you also have who tweeted it first. So I've tried this tool maybe to find the original tweet about hashtags. Sometimes it doesn't work. A sort of quick warning: it doesn't work great. So be careful when you use it. Sometimes it might have the right function, but I mean it might lead you to the correct first tweet. But I've been using it, and sometimes it didn't bring me the first tweet. So it might be good in some occasion, but I would try to do a search to verify this if you can. But it might be taking a lot of time to scroll back to find the original tweet. But it could be useful. And like Facebook, if you want to download a video, you've got download Twitter video. So you just copy and paste the URL. That could be handy if you want to analyze the video in more details, or want to have it on your computer for whatever reason. You can do that. I want to keep time for questions, but I still have some. I'll skip the one available on Intel Techniques because you can explore it by yourself. But just a reminder, you've got Instagram, you got YouTube, and you got LinkedIn here that you can use. Some other tools I want to show you quickly in the time remaining are for VK. This is sort of geolocation search, where you put your location and you can do the search. Then you've got EcoSec, which I give you the login details for. And basically what it does is finding, when you go for the location, it will find, again, let's say I'm interested in the broadcasting house. It will find the sort of Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, post, etc. And you can also in the area of interest, and you can also refine the range and the date. Another one which does the same is WarWire. So that's the same. It functions more or less the same, and it adds. What's the strength about WarWire is it's got EcoSeg's got VK as well. Normally here, but they aren't posting that area from VK, but VK is here. But what's good about WarWire is it's got Facebook on top, which EcoSeg doesn't have. Few final ones I wanted to talk about and show. You have, yeah, that's a good one, the snap map. Want to find. So what I do is zoom in the area where it's, for example, hot here, and then click on. That's one example of a live one 1 hour ago. But if I zoom in a bit more, I can press this, and this is going to show me people buying a big cookie in Tesco. But yeah, you might find maybe more interesting things than cookies, massive cookies in the video. But yeah, here, so all you do is click on the area where they've got the light, and it will show you the video coming from there. So snap map could be quite good to hunt down information, either when you're following a live event, or I don't know, maybe there might be a person of interest snapping live. For Instagram, there used to be, so now there used to be Picodash, but it's been turned down. It's down now because Facebook has bought Instagram, and they've changed the functionalities, so it has affected Picodash. But you can use Webstagram, which doesn't offer as much options or search options as Picodash, but still quite decent. And maybe a few final one. VK, I showed that already. LinkedIn, that's to analyze your own network. Yeah, then you got big commercial tool like Scroll, CrowdTangle, Spike, and they let you do more big data analytics, but they cost money. So the downside of it, most of the all of the tools I've shown, apart from WarWire and EcoSeg, but EcoSeg you've got logging details account, but all the tools I've shown are free. But Spike, Scroll, and CrowdTangle, you need to pay for them, so there's a price. But they let you do sort of huge data crawl analysis. In terms of presentation, I think that's it for me, because I want to leave a bit. I am seeing it's already nearly 5 to 8 your time, and I would like to give a bit of space for questions if there is any. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Sorry. And if there are any questions, I can answer those, or you can send by emails. If you want to play with some Facebook formula, send them to me, because as you saw, when I try to present them, it's always sometimes you need to think about different options. It takes a bit of time to build those formula. It's better when I present if I prepare them before, but when you do them live like this, there might be different ideas that come up. And so if you have any question with those, or if you're working on the formula, feel free to send it by email, and then we can work on it together. But are there any pressing questions at this stage?
I actually pasted questions here.
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting about that. Sorry.
Why don't you? That's easier.
Which would show which pages or profile a person was frequently visiting. That's a very good question. Pages or profile, I'd say no, because those. So no, it's no, right. Because those information doesn't get. So you can only get information that is public, and this is data that Facebook will have. It's not information that's public. The number of times a specific profile has visited a page. What you can get is if that profile has liked this page or checked in this place, that you would get. But the amount of time they've visited it, or they've whether a page or a profile, this is data that's kept by Facebook and that's private, so you can't get access to that. There's no formula to find that, because before the information need to be public. And the second question, for me, netbootcamp.org is not working. Say access denied, firewall and access from your country was disabled by administrator. Okay. Have you tried to use a VPN? That might help. If you use a VPN, you might, at the moment, maybe with it, yeah, try with a VPN. If not, don't worry, because Intel Techniques, if Intel Techniques works, which I think work fine, and StoreScan work, then that's the one you need. They give you. I've never used NetBootcamp, for example, myself. I always rely on Intel Techniques or StoreScan. So with those two, you good to go to do searches on Facebook. But try with a VPN for NetBootcamp. It might work, but otherwise, I wouldn't bother.
Right. There's another question from Theodora, and that's about whether there is any tool or formula that would allow to see Facebook friendships between two profiles if we are not friends with them.
Yes, you can. So you don't need to be friends with them to get that information, but that information needs to be public. So if they have the highest level of privacy and you don't see their friends, then you won't get access to information. But you don't need to be friends to get that information. You can just, so if I go back to Intel Techniques, to the tools, I was already on that, to Facebook, you will be using this. So you want to know if people are friends together. That's the question, correct?
Yes.
So you might be able. So this is going to give you the common friends. That's not what you. Well, actually, if you search for that and you get common friends, that means they're friends together already. But you can search for one friends and find the other there. So you know you don't need to. You don't need to be friends anyway. You don't need to be friends with them to find that information. But photo like by friends, etc. There is. Let me find graph tips. There should be one normally. What do they have in comment? So that's just gonna post commented, place like photo, boom, boom, boom. No, that's not gonna show if they are friends together. Normally, I would use, if I go back to Intel Techniques, I would use common details. That should give it, or common friends, because if common friends doesn't give any results, that means those two people are not friends. But if it gives results, it means they are. But you don't need to be friends with them to find that information. The only need is that information needs to be public.
Yeah, but what if they are not friends? What about their wall postings, tagged photos, etc.? That's an additional question.
And that's, so you want to find information where they are to get linking them if they are not friends. Is that correct? So
I think so, yes.
Okay, because if that's the question, if the idea is the two people are not friends together, but let's say they've been tagged on the same post or they've been tagged on the same pictures, and that information is public, you can still find it using this. So you have maybe common photo tags, maybe common places, if you places they might have been together, comment the picture they've commented, the picture they've liked, etc. So you can try those different ones, and they don't need to be friends together for you to see that information. For all those tools, what really matters is that information needs to be public. That means they don't need to have the highest level of security on their Facebook. They don't need to hide their friends, or if they hide their friends, if they hide their, if they make they post only available to their friends and not to the public, then you won't be able to get that information unless you're friends with them, obviously. But otherwise, in the case where we have two people not friends together, and both of the information they have is public, and they've been tagged in the same picture, if you enter the number here and click go, you'll find the picture where they've been tagged together. Does that answer the question, or was it maybe?
I've just asked that, yeah.
Ah, perfect, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Any other question?
Not for the time being, no.
If not, feel free to send me an email, and then I'll build the formula. That's something, if I fail to do it in the presentation, I'll build the formula to find people from France who's been in Moscow for the World Cup, and I'll send it to you. But those takes always a bit of time to build because I'm not so familiar with all the options. But I'll build that, send it to you so you see it functions as a follow-up. And for those who've got questions, feel free to send them by email. And otherwise, tonight or tomorrow morning, first thing, I will send you a task to do, and then we can review it in the final sessions. And the final session, we go over verification of videos and photos, and that would be, Tiho, when is that set to be?
Well, we should set it for next week.
Okay.
You and I will discuss,
Sure.
but it's likely to be Tuesday or Wednesday.
That's good for me as well. So that's fine. Yeah. But yeah, so that'll give you a week to do the task. So I'll give you one that's a bit harder than the last one. So you spend more time on it. But thank you very much. I hope it was useful. And again, if you got any question, feel free to send an email. Thank you.
Thank you all for attending. Thank you, Yun. As always, the recording of the session is on the same link that you used to follow it. Do write with any questions. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Bye now.
Bye.